Hello, welcome to JIBRIN Angle on Oweleke TV. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. Yes, I want us to talk about. Okay, let me play this video. I think it's better I play the video, and while I will interject from time to time to actually give my opinion of my thoughts.
What is new to say? Nigerians don't react to anything. Has any politician told you that he's not a thief? Tell me one politician that told you that he's not a thief. Tell me one. I don't know why you're guarding forgery, no forgery. What politician told you that he didn't forge? Which politician told you he went to university? Which politician told you he served in NYSC? Which politician told you he has a certificate? Nigerians know and still vote for them. So what's your problem? No, tell me what's your problem? So I said, why should I speak when already?
Honestly, point of correction. Now, for those of you who don't know, probably who have not been following me, Amaechi is someone. He's corrupt. As corrupt. I like him. I like his personality. But I have issues with how corrupt he is as well. He's as corrupt as others. But I like him. I think he's better than other politicians. He says it the way it is. He's frank. He's sincere. And he's blunt. I think that's the right word. He's a very blunt person. He criticizes. He criticizes even his own what he belongs to. During the Buhari's government, he was not very, but he was critical from time to time. But it got to a point. I even thought that he was critical of the government. I thought that he would be fired, but he spent the entire 8 years. Then I'll probably you'll find out reason why he spent up to that 8 years, even when he was critical of the government. We'll talk about that as we play on.
There's nothing new. Okay, you observe Buhari's period. I will leave Port Harcourt 1 a.m. I arrive Abuja, I leave Abuja 3 a.m. Somebody said they made Buhari. Did I say anything? I didn't say anything. It's not important.
Yeah, this is it. This is the reason why he spent, even though he was critical of the government he was serving under. He ended up, he still finished the 8 years term with Buhari because people always say that Tinubu made Buhari. Tinubu didn't single-handedly make Buhari. Amaechi, let's be frank. Let's be sincere. Let's be truthful. And factually as well, Amaechi actually worked his ass for, in fact, just like he noted, the man worked assiduously with his money, his time, his energy. I remember, for those of you who don't remember, he was a campaign. He was the DG of Buhari campaign, presidential campaign. Yeah. So he too did his best. So it is not Tinubu didn't do it all. Amaechi tried his best. That is just what he's trying to do, and which is the reality. I think he deserves, and that is the reason why he spent. Buhari allowed it, because Buhari acknowledged his importance, the significant role he played in his campaign. So that is why he actually, even though Amaechi was critical of Buhari's government within, while he was inside, Buhari still gave him that leverage to finish the 8 years together with him.
Nigerians choose who to believe and who not to believe. Nigerians choose who to vote and who not to vote. Even if you come to a Nigerian man's house and kill the mother, the father will continue his life. Nothing bothers you. Nothing. So why do I waste my time? Yes, that's the original. So give it to me. You see it? So that you won't say tomorrow he brought photocopies. But when we get there, that is when we're talking about Buhari's government. So there's nothing that our chairman said that is new. Absolutely not new. I've said this several times. I've taken so many risks. I've said too many things. The fight from Goodluck's government to Buhari's government, you all knew about it. My aircraft was seized. I was shot at. If I was killed, what would happen? Nothing. So you would die a useless life. So what did I choose? I chose to stay in my house quietly. Fortunately for me, I got admission to study in Nigerian law school. And rule number one is, like they told me if I came here, You are our property. You have no right to go anywhere unless we permit you. That's the rule in the Nigerian law school. So anybody who says, why have I not seen you? I'm a student of Nigerian law school. Until I graduate, I can't disobey them. So I chose not to speak again because there is nothing to say, and because Nigerians will do absolutely
Nothing.
If you say it's a line up 10 Nigerians and shoot them tomorrow, and nothing will happen.
That's it. Nigeria will do absolutely nothing. If you say it's a lie, line up 10 Nigerians and shoot them, and nothing will happen. This man cannot be more apt. That is just the truth. Nigerians, we are so docile. We are so how do I put it? We are so caved into to our faith. Faith, F-A-T-E, not F-A-I-T-H. We are so caved into our faith. So we are acting in a very hopeless manner. And that is just why the government just keeps treating and maltreating us whichever way they desire, especially this Tinubu's government and the government before, Buhari government. These two governments are the most insensitive government of our lifetime. Honestly, they don't care what especially Tinubu has doubled down on the insensitivity of Buhari. That is just it. He does not care what we feel, how we feel, what we say, what happens to us. He and his team don't care. And that is just the reality. Unfortunately, just like Amaechi said, Nigerians we have accepted our fate. That is the right word. We've accepted our fate. Let's watch on.
If you say it's in fact, the worst thing about Nigerians is that even when you claim you're not committing any crime, and they pick you up tomorrow, we said it is a thief. Nigerians will join. They will cross it, and you go to prison for nothing. The greatest fear I have is being found in prison for nothing, and you can be found in prison for doing. So I don't want to repeat what I used to say before because you hold it against me. Those who are close to me know. We repeated yesterday. I will just only use one word. I won't use the rest. I say it's a hopeless situation. Is it a lie?
It is not a lie. It is a hopeless situation. Honestly, it is. The situation is with Tinubu, especially when the budget came out. It just showed to me the hopelessness of Nigeria. The 2024 budget, when it came out last year, I remember on this show we talked about it extensively with Barrister A.A. Manta, and I remember titling that budget. My own title for that budget was the budget of thieves and rogues. A budget that actually earmarked only 5%, even less than that. I think about 5% of the entire budget was earmarked for capital projects. What do you expect of such budget? Hope or hopelessness? Of course, you know the answer to that. Let's watch on.
So let's go a bit further. Let's go a bit further. You will be shocked that I won't talk about Buhari's government for two reasons. And I won't talk about President Tinubu's government. One reason why I won't talk about Buhari's government, I'm a participant, but they asked me that question yesterday. What moral reason do you have to criticize Buhari's government, having been part of it? That was the argument. I do, if I want to argue it. But again, that was a huge debate amongst us, and we are all agreed I should say nothing about the government. So I now told them if I will say nothing about Buhari's government, I will also say nothing about President Tinubu's government.
Again, that's one of the things I like about Amaechi. Again, like I said, he's a corrupt. He has corrupt. I'm not his fan, but I call that virtue. He's frank and sincere. He just says it the way it is. He's blunt. And I like that about him. He criticizes even his own system. And if the need be, or if the need arises, so he's not scared. He's not ashamed to be critical of anything, even regardless of his position in that particular thing or stuff. And that is one thing about him. And he's trying to play fair here. Yes, under Buhari, even when he was under Buhari, he still criticized it. But right now, criticizing Tinubu will be like someone will pose him as someone that is disgruntled. And besides, he has to be fair. He's a fair person. He's trying to, and that's one thing I like about him. If you don't want to criticize the government you serve, don't criticize the present government, and that is just it. So you rather just keep your mouth shut, and that's understandable. But the truth is, everyone knows where Tinubu stands, his government stands in our minds, and that is just the reality.
Government, because you know the problem. Instead of Nigerians finding solutions to their problem, they are committing suicide. I'm praying for you every day that you should continue to commit suicide, so that by the time I wake up one day, all of you have died. I can now reap the benefit of your death by taking those things.
Yeah, this is another point. I don't know why Nigerians, we are cowards. We are all cowards. Honestly, I wish we were not. I wish we can do better. We can, of course, we can do better, but I wish we had done better, because yes, we have solution to our problem. Solution, as every other success, there is no easy way to any success, and so also the solution is not an easy path, but it is a path that will lead to solution eventually. So the problem with Nigerians is that we rather commit suicide than be courageous. Now, let me note something. All of us, we all at one point in time, we are either passing through or have passed through a challenging moment in our lives. And some of us may not have gotten to that point, but we may eventually get to that point where we just feel everything, we just feel hopelessness. Now, what makes you or mars you is what the step you take at that point of your life. That point that seems hopeless, that point that seems endless, that point that seems scary. What you do or fail to do at that point will define your life. Whether you are a coward or you are a hero, a brave man, or a courageous man or person. And Nigerians who are committing suicide are cowards. Some people committed suicide because of poverty. Some people committed suicide because of emotional issues, heartbreak or whatever. Whichever reason why you committed suicide should never be an option. It is cowardice to commit suicide. There is no excuse for suicide. So Nigerians who are committing suicide, I say to you, who plans, or ones who committed suicide, they are already gone, so they don't listen. They can't hear me. For those of you who are alive and you prefer to commit suicide rather than face the government, you are not only a coward and a weakling. You are just not doing the right thing, because you fail to act, you die. You act, you die. Either way, you will die. So why don't you do the right thing and die? So instead of committing suicide, now facing the government, you think you will die. And it is not all the time you face government, you will die. Not all the time. Sometimes you may succeed. You think if you do the right thing by facing government, you will die. You rather commit suicide, and that is cowardice. So death is death after all. So what you expected to do is to die in a noble, respected, and courageous way. No suicide victim has been celebrated. I've not heard of any suicide victim that was celebrated. I don't think there will be any suicide victim, because suicide, like I said, weak people are those that commit suicide. But people who die, who face challenges and head on, and sometimes die in the course of such challenge, are always celebrated. They are always considered to be heroes. And that is just the reality. And that is what I expect of Nigerians. We have to take the bull by the horn. It is ready. It is time for us to actually call the bluff of this Tinubu's government. It is high time we started to do the needful, act in the needful way. That is just the reality. That is just the truth. Otherwise, we may be left with no option but to get to a point where we do things in an irrational way. And a hungry man is an angry man. When a hungry man that is an angry man reacts, he or she reacts in an irrational way. And if you react irrationally, it ends up in regrets. And even worst scenario. And that is why we don't want to get there. So the better for us to begin to act in the right manner, the best for the better for us to do that. The better we do that, the more we do that, the better for us. And so that is, or rather, the earlier we do that, the earlier we do that, the better for us. That we have to actually call our government, our leaders to account. It is time we start holding them to account, especially this criminal government of Tinubu. We have the executive as criminal, the head of the executive as criminal, the head of the judiciary, the Senate president as a criminal, and the head of the judiciary. Okay, there's no condone, whatever. They don't have all the judiciary, but we all know her antecedent at the appeal court. So as far as I'm concerned, that was a criminal antecedent, because unfortunately judges are not hold accountable to the judgment they give, no matter how criminal the judgment is. So I consider her a criminal as well. The Chief Justice of the Federation I'm speaking about now. So we have a system that is currently headed, an entire system headed by a bunch of corrupt criminals. Yet Nigerians are not doing anything. We are not saying anything. And the worst part of it is, for some of us who are trying to contribute our widow's mite, this is what I'm doing right now is my own widow's mite. It may not be too much. It may not be much, but it is part. It is a drop or a drop. Sorry, how do they make this proverb? How do they say this proverb? Drop by drop. I don't know. Sorry, I can't remember this proverb. But the reality is, no matter how insignificant our contribution may be, that contribution is touching the life or the lives of some people. So that is what we are doing here. We are contributing our own widow's mite, which is actually speaking truth to power, calling the bluff of our leaders. And that is just it. However, there are people, Nigerians, who have become so caved into their faith, which is FATE, have caved into their faith that they no longer, they even come after us that are criticizing the government. Now, sometimes it surprises me because these people, what we are doing it for us, for all of us, but more for them, because some of these people that come attacking are people who can't even, some of them cannot even afford comfortably their basic necessities of life. Some of us are doing this. We are doing this not because, not for the monetary purpose. Honestly, this platform, whatever platform this platform that I have, this show that I'm running, it is not for monetary purpose. Honestly, it is just to contribute my own quota, my own widow's mite to the society. We are not making anything out of this. I am not doing this for money. I am doing it because it is expedient. I feel that this is the way I can contribute to the society. But people are, even with the little we are contributing, the people we are fighting. Look, one thing I should, for those of you who are watching, and those of you who are part of, because we have returning viewers, and I appreciate that. I think we have returning viewers. We're seeing record of returning viewers. Honestly, I appreciate all of you returning viewers, including those that have been attacking me, calling me names. Honestly, I thank you for that. For being here, at least encouraging us to do more. But the reality is that, honestly, by the special grace of God, exclusively the grace of God is responsible for this. At least I can afford the basic necessities of life. So I don't get it. I am not, whatever I say, whatever I do here, I am not your enemy. The enemy, our enemy, we have a common enemy, and the common enemy we have are those people that have made our lives miserable all these years, rendered Nigeria bankrupt, even though they don't want to say it. Nigeria is bankrupt as far as I'm concerned, because you cannot be owing. If you are owing, if your debt is higher than your revenue or your income, you are bankrupt. That is the definition of bankruptcy. Not two-way. That is just a common sense economy. That is just reality. So, the problem is that you see these people coming to attack people like us who are saying the right thing, holding government to account, our leaders to account, and forgetting that whatever we are doing here, we are doing this for the benefit of the country and the citizens. So let's keep watching.
What other people resist, like in Ghana, as it's going on now, like in Kenya, is what Nigeria, no worry, not be 4 years. After 4 years, he will go. The man wins the second time, whether by magic or by crook or by listen. It's not only 8 years. Not be good luck, not be good luck, don't go so. Not be why don't go so. He will soon go, and that person will come.
Yeah, and that is the problem. Again, I know that this cannot be overemphasized, because Nigerians, we just take it, anything, they slap us this way, we turn the other cheek, they slap us, we keep turning the cheeks, our cheeks, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. They keep slapping us over and over and over and over again. And in most cases, if not all cases, when they slap us, they expect us not to cry. Not to expect, they force us not to cry. And that is why they arrest. Look at these people they just released, protesters they released. And those protesters are children. Look at them. Go take a look at them. They incarcerated them for how many months? Since August. They were all looking malnourished. Those are the people who cried. They slapped and flogged us. And some of us went on the street to cry by protest, by way of protesting. And now you said no. Why did you cry? You are not supposed to cry. You don't have the right to cry. And there and then, you flog us even more and punish us even more. Yet Nigerians are doing nothing. Kenyans reacted and called the attention of their government And their government has since then the government sat up. Even up to now, the tension is still there. The government, policies of government, their president reversed policies that actually generated this protest, that actually ignited these protests. That is what we call responsible and responsive government. Government that is sensitive, unlike Bola Tinubu's government. What we are practicing here is not democracy. These people don't listen to us. They only listen to themselves. They don't care. They just keep squandering our money. Borrowing to squander. They keep borrowing. They borrow left, right, and center. For what purpose? Not for capital projects. Not for any good, noble purpose. But to squander. To use it for their personal lifestyle. And that is just the reality.
Will come and repeat the same thing. You'll be saying that until the day God will come. For those of us who are Christians. So I have chosen to be like you. Say nothing, hear, and do.
All right. So, and that is it. Now, the do nothing. We shouldn't go without, forget about Amaechi. Amaechi is rich. He's corrupt. He has stolen money as well. So don't follow him. Say nothing and do nothing. No. We'll keep saying something and hopefully we will do something. And I bet you we don't want to get to a point where we, the people, decide or chooses to do something ourselves. It's not going to be a palatable thing. It will affect everybody directly or indirectly. So we don't want to get there. As I said earlier, a hungry man is an angry man, and an angry man always acts irrationally. So we don't want to get to that point where we will take our destinies in our hands and act irrationally. Our government, our leaders are taking us for granted. I hope, and I hope that they will not take us for granted for too long. And that is why I have been advocating for the military today, because Nigeria we are not built for democracy. This is what we are practicing is a sham. It is not democracy. The president is there in charge of the other two arms of government. So this is not democracy. The National Assembly is just a rubber stamp to the president. There is no bill there is no bill that has been meted with robust debate since the advent of the Bola Tinubu's government. None. He sends a bill there, and the next thing they just read it out, and in give it 5 minutes, they pass it into law. The same thing happens in both chambers. The judiciary, the same thing is happening at the judiciary. So this is no democracy. And that is why I've been an advocate, not today, even before Obasanjo came in as the democratically elected president. I've always advocated, I prefer military regime. Look, the only thing is that we've been so unfortunate with military leaders. That's just the truth. Had we been fortunate with good, purposeful military leader, honestly, of course, we wouldn't even be talking about democracy today. We were bent on this democracy. We bought this borrowed idea, Western idea called democracy, because the military were a disappointment to us as well. So we felt frustrated. And that was why, of course, when the enemy will always give you something that is against you when you are most vulnerable, and when you are most vulnerable, obviously we will accept it. That's exactly what happened. We were very, very vulnerable. We were at our weakest moment when the West sold this democracy to us. This sham of a democracy to us. We must go back to that military regime. But this time around, and that was what the Oka coup actually could have been better than Buhari. Probably Oka coup, the Oka group could have done better. The only thing is that Oka, I don't know, probably he was into drugs. He went and started dividing. Why? That wasn't the purpose. That shouldn't be the purpose of the coup. And I don't think that was it. I don't know. If that was the purpose, man, that was exactly why it failed, because he obviously preempted himself and started announcing nonsense, cutting out some states from Nigeria like that. Of course, nobody, even me, that was crazy. If not that issue of dividing the country, Okaku could have succeeded and probably we could have been in a better position today. So we need courageous military officers, not the top echelon. The top echelon, they are as corrupt, even more corrupt than politicians, because they are all fleecing Nigeria and Nigerians. That's why military, they don't get the. Have you ever heard of EFCC or ICPC investigating any military officer, either retired or serving? Nobody. They don't. Have you ever heard of National Assembly even calling the military, the military to account? Their budget has never been questioned. Their expenditures has never been questioned. They are spending everything about everything about the military. The politicians don't question, because they are using their silence. They are using their silence to bribe the military. So the military is just on a corruption spree. So they are as corrupt as the politicians. But there are few, just like we have the Diagbons, the Angiwa Umars, the Ahmed Alis, the who again. We have them that were noble officers. We have them today that are noble officers behind the scene, that probably that are facing the same frustration that we are facing, that are facing the same dilemma that we are facing, the same pain that we are all facing. These are the military, but do not have the desire to do anything close, or to rule or to lead in any way close to what we are having now, but to do something directly opposite by being purposeful, responsible, objective, resourceful leaders. These are the leaders I am talking about, the potential leaders, prospective leaders I'm talking about. They are somewhere in the military. You better get your acts together. Otherwise, if you fail to do it, the inevitable will happen. And that inevitable is when we the people, decide to go on the streets and take our destinies in our hands. That situation, no one wants to, even though that is a situation that can bring the perfect change. The military is not a perfect solution. Don't get me wrong. But it will not cushion actually. It will kind of ameliorate this bad system, where we are today. It will pull us out of it. It will give us a sigh of relief. It will reverse some things. Some things will be reversed. At least we'll feel some kind of reprieve. And hopefully, the right person becomes the military leader. Then, we may call it Uhuru. And this, I hope and pray that we Nigerians really stand up to our leaders, because it is becoming too much. Bola Tinubu cannot take us anywhere. It is a hopeless situation. He does not have the intention. His actions speak so. They say action speaks louder than words. His action will tell you that this man does not have good intention for Nigeria. And this is my angle.